It's about time, your time. Fox 11 Tucson Now Sports.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Arizona football. I'm David Kelly, joined by Glenn Howell, U of A football class of 1985. The Wildcats working their way to that season opener on August 24th at Hawaii. And Glenn, why don't we talk about the quarterback to get things started on this 2019 season? And Khalil Tate, last year, not the season he wanted. A lot of injuries. We found out in a Sports Illustrated article that came out recently that maybe even more injuries than we thought. Not just the ankle, but maybe even a shoulder and a toe. And I don't know if you've ever had a toe injury, but a toe injury might even be worse than an ankle injury.
Yes, it is. It is. That big toe is bad. That is a bad injury.
And when you think about the reality that that we saw him struggling to run, now maybe some of that makes sense from what we saw last year.
Yeah, and I think that Khalil really sat down with himself and looked at himself and said, you know what? What was going on with me? Was I physically hurt? Yes. Was I not mentally there because I was physically hurt? I think maybe yes, too. And I think that he put all that together. He went in the offseason. He changed his attitude. He had a talk with Sumlin, had a talk with Malzoni, and said that he's going to commit to it. He's going to commit to being a great quarterback, and I think that we're going to see some good things from him this year.
Well, it sounded like, from what he said on Saturday, that he also had a lot of conversations with his family, and that was an important part of this whole process for him, working through some of the things that we saw post-game where it was kind of the Rich Rod mentality where he was short and dismissive. And I asked him point blank, how are you going to be better in those situations this year? And he said, well, I'm hoping to win more games this year. Well, can't depend on that, so we're going to find out how he is when they start losing games. But the demeanor seems better this year than what we saw last year.
The demeanor is so much better, Dave. I just enjoyed watching him. I was there for 4 days in a row at practice, and I saw his demeanor with his teammates, with his coaches, everybody interacting and everything. And even in the warm-up, just being enthusiastic and being the guy. And then he was in front of the huddle, okay? I liked that. He was in front of the huddle instead of sitting in the back like I used to see him last year. But I really like the demeanor of him, and I think we're going to see a big change in this year.
And you mentioned it being with the players and the coaches. I want to show this video that we had of him just kind of interacting here with Noel Mazzoni. And when you look at this video, Glenn, it's just comfortable. And this is what you want to see. This looks like two guys that are on the same page, and that's what has to happen going into this season.
Yeah, and he has got a little pressure, too, because he's got a backup that's going to be pushing him a little bit, Grant Gunnell. I mean, this guy's 6'6". This guy looks like he's real comfortable, too. So when you have somebody behind you that's real comfortable, that makes you uncomfortable. So you got to be, as like Rich Rod used to say, you got to be uncomfortable, feeling comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think that's what we're seeing with Khalil.
But I want to circle back to the injuries, Glenn, because, again, he is a running quarterback. The article said that he re-injured the shoulder joint, which he hurt initially in that ASU game 2 years ago, in the Oregon State game last year. That's the reality of a running quarterback. When you run the football in that position, you're going to get hit. So how do we keep this guy healthy? Because I don't like – if I was a coach, I wouldn't be recruiting running quarterbacks.
See, I disagree with you. There's a running quarterback and there's a smart running quarterback, okay? Khalil wasn't a smart running quarterback last year. I mean, he was trying to run people over and stuff, and you can't do that. You got to be able to preserve your body and be able to learn how to run out of bounds and be able to get, less yards, but you're going to get them on the next time. You got to live to see the next down.
What was it that Rich Rod used to say? First down, get down. There was another part of that I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Stay with us here for continuing coverage of Arizona football.